What up, guys? So, I did a video the other day, and when it uploaded to YouTube, it was all messed up. I was waiting for the SVS, but I did want to show you guys where I'm at, the new stuff they did, all that good stuff. I've been taking hero-less hits, so from what I hear, 25 to 30 trillion is good for hero-less. I have this one. Now the 64K troops are all tier 1. I built tier 1 just so if I burned, or actually I was hoping to burn at least through them, but I've got too many troops so they won't burn. I don't remember where we was at on the last one. Now there is mobile traps, which you could deploy with your attacks. You had to get a token to unlock it. I upgraded this, so now I have all the stuff unlocked. I'm not high enough level. I think each level the stats get better. Right now I'm going to check out this one. There's a new serum that came out too. I'm just going to kind of wing it. Oh, that wasn't no good. Well, I guess not too bad. I think the one I have right now is actually better defense, though. They also added more levels for this, so you can make better serums. Let's see which one I have active. 2,000 health, 3,000 health, 1,100, yeah. Well, that's disappointing, because I just added the boost for serum, thinking it'd be a lot better, and it's not. Now, mobile traps. You had to get a token to unlock the use of them. Let me go into research gear and show you how ridiculous some of this stuff is. Oh, never mind, I am in research gear. So at level 4, to get there for this one, 90 trillion resources. Speed ups right now, I think it's still free. On my Rebel Tactics, which I upgraded a smidge, $28 trillion. I bought the DBC pack when I did the video. When I went on to check it out, it was all like in fast forward mode. There was no sound and the video was just going like crazy, so I had to delete it. Was kind of bummed about it. Today they did, oh wait, 1 second. They also added boosts for your resource buildings. rally health and stuff. It's pretty expensive. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out all what I did for the last video. Where I'm at now, I'm not going to spend any more. I'm going to see if I can make do with what I got. Traps right now, I've seen approximately, most of them I'd say are around 2 trillion, give or take. Heroless, like I said, I've got 1 trillion troops. I made them scouts just to fool around with, more or less. I've got about 77 billion of each tier 3, 30-something billion of each tier 4, between 4 and 7 billion of tier 5. I guess I don't have the report, maybe it was on the iPad. I took a rally from someone that was almost maxed. I believe they were pretty close, and I ate it as well. Like, only lost 60,000. Well, I didn't lose them. I just injured 60,000. Tier 1, and they killed a couple traps. So it was pretty exciting. However, pretty much after the one person that just decided to try it, or the one alliance got capped, everybody kind of knew better. The one that was almost maxed asked if I wanted a test. I think they were just curious to see if they could burn me. So two of the heroless hits I took were tests. The first one I didn't even realize I could do. I wanted to see how bad it would be. I asked my alliance to hit me heroless, and I was shocked when I capped, honestly, because the stuff they're coming out with so fast is just insane. Let me show you. Ultimate Grand Champion mod set. That's what they released last night. Adds 1 million attack. That is crazy. Adds 10,000 defense too, which is nice, but so I'm not worried about burning with that in at least defense gear. I suppose it's possible. I knew before this SVS they'd release something. I thought it would be a new attack gear because traps are getting a little out of control right now. You can't even hit a 2 trillion player all of a sudden. It's kind of a toss-up whether, because if they have any defense gear, you're screwed. So I think we all know how these games work. They tip the balance in favor of one and then counter it. Like, you'll see a bunch of traps, and then they'll make it so traps just get smoked. And then after a little while, they'll switch it back so that you can be traps again. You know, there's always traps. People always figure out a way, but in general, like when Champion Gear came out, man, nobody was safe for a while. And I don't know if... I don't believe I showed you guys this either. There's new defense gear. Okay, so this is the Siege Breaker gear. This is what was out. It was just regular Siege Breaker. They released one that's like the Champion gear, and it has 3 phases. Let's see. I have the whole set of regular. This is the Grand Guardian auto shotgun. So it's called the Guardian set, and there's 3 tiers: regular, grand, and ultimate. The basic is about 4,000 better on defense for me. But I was just using this. It's funny because all week I've been just sending my commander out, getting it capped on purpose. It's sitting there, and everybody's on to, the sizes for hero lists. So it didn't help so much. I am hoping, however, at the SVS, it may work, because one thing I've noticed, there's usually one cowboy that thinks that they can just smoke you when they have no business attacking you to begin with. So I'm hoping I have some luck there, especially with the new mod set. I'm hoping it gives people a little more courage. So they did add new traps. I think it was mercenary traps. And now they can be deployed. For instance, oops. See if I could find a tile. Guess not, I'll just show you here. So if I go to attack, I can do 7 million. I don't have it boosted, and I could send 250,000 traps, which are down here. So it adds a whole new element to attacking and rallying. We tried getting the Wonder one day, and not enough of us, including me, had traps unlocked, so we couldn't, the Wonder, sorry, the control point. Not enough of us had traps, so we couldn't get it. After that is when I unlocked mine, because when you're filling a rally, you need enough people with traps, because traps do make a bit of a difference. I think in a rally you can add another 1,000,000 something traps. I'm not sure what max is, but I've seen over 1,000,000 added. So now your rally size, which was maxed at 35 million, is 36 something million. So I mean, of course that 1,000,000 makes a big difference. I'll show you who the almost max player was, which may be max now. I tried to get a hold of him for one more test, because I want to test before I go to SVS with the new stuff. Although, I guess it's not hugely important. It's not like that new set's gonna zero me in one hit, but it'd be nice to know whether I need to trap with my hero or heroless. So I think they grew almost 100 trillion power, but she's, or he, I'm not sure. I always read the name as Faith, but it's not. They messaged me and asked if I wanted a test, and tested me, and I capped, lost 60 something thousand. I wish I could find, this was the first one that I took heroless. Nope, I lied. Wait, yes it was. Wait a minute, I'm confused. This one I lost a lot of traps. This was the one that just got too big for their britches. You could see I lost 1,800 traps and 64,000 troops, which were all tier 1. it was fun for a little bit because I was just messing with people. So, okay, attacker. They sent plasma beam, control tower, and defense turret traps. And they took out sandbags, which are the tier 1 traps. Sorry, I'm sniffling, guys. I think I'm getting a cold. So, that was that attack. When I went to the hospital to check it out, it was all tier 1, which I more or less made to mess around with, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll burn, and then and they'll be like, oh, I got this, thinking they burn off a few of the tier 1, but I've got too many troops. I guess it didn't matter. I thought for sure tier 1 would melt from tier 5 and such, but I actually should have known, because I seen back when people were saying, oh no, you need just tier 5, you need just tier 5, which my old alliance was trying to tell me that, and I got rid of so many tier 4 troops. Well, I guess not so many, like 300 billion tier 4 or tier 3 troops, because they told me that you'd, with the new tier 5, and this was when Guardian Gear was just tearing everything up, and I tried telling them, I was like, no, you know, I fully believe you need a meat shield. Like, it used to be T2, T4 was like the way to go. You can't tell me because they added tier 5, it just wiped that out. I went tier 3, tier 5, because that, to me, made sense, move up, but T2 is still viable. I've seen it. I've seen someone with every tier type, and they just eat rallies. See if I... One thing, and I asked the company, I wrote to them, if any of you play Game of War, look at, to me, this is so stupid. You get 500 gold a day, log in all 6 days, get 5,000. Gold is pretty much useless. I used all my gold. I had like 700 million. I pretty much used it just for troops and stuff, which there's no real other use for it. Teleports and stuff are so easy to buy. They're so cheap, so you don't need 700 million gold for that stuff. Game of War, how it was, is like one day you'd get resources, one day you'd get speed ups, one day you'd get VIP, one day you might get, you know, some building supplies. Now I know they give you stuff as a you know, a bonus in your items, but like the other day it was 1 trillion of each resource. Now that's literally nothing. Like, that's something that helps low accounts. The cheapest right now, and I'm working on 9 out of 10 on these, is 2 trillion resources. That's the cheapest research I can do, and that's only for this last mobile ops one. The rest are all done. When you get to rebel tactics and mobile tactics, it's between 20 and 100 something trillion resources per research. Now you get the DBC only boosts, but okay, so I could build like 22 billion troops at a time, but the resource cost is ridiculous. and I'm now out of speed ups. They really need to make this better. Like, I realize they're trying to make the game a little different from Game of War, but it's the same company, it's the same setup. There's a few differences, and I'm sure they want it to have its own identity, which is fine. But I paid. Oh, and on Game of War, if something new came out, I believe DBC on some of the stuff got first access to it, which this says when you see all benefits, first look. But the stuff they give you isn't worth it. I'm getting stuff that I don't need. Right now I need speed ups, resources, and VIP. Look how close I am to max VIP. 1,000 trillion, or they call it a quadrillion, whatever, away from max. Now once that's maxed, they're probably gonna start giving me free VIP points. It's ridiculous, and they really need to slow down on this. They need to stop adding so much new stuff. If you're gonna add so much new stuff, don't make it you have to pay to unlock everything. Like, I realize it's a business, but you're killing people that can't afford to spend. We moved to this state, and we've got just a couple members that couldn't afford to get a teleport, and that's terrible that they're like holding down the fort in another state, which I went back to the other day, by the way, and there is nothing there. There's my old alliance, and there's alliances there, but like the highest person was 100 trillion power. But everybody left because it was just nothing going on. I went to the center, the control point, and there wasn't a base nearby. I went there to mess with people, and you couldn't mess with nobody. There was nothing. So, although I do appreciate them adding new things, I don't think it should always cost something. Like, for instance, that trap research. Mobile traps. I could do some of the research on it. Then when I went to fill a rally, I realized I needed to get that first one that says unlock mobile trap deployments. Now to get that, you needed to buy one of the top packs just to get the token. So I had these new traps all done. I think I had level 1 of most everything. And you couldn't join a rally. Well, you could still join it, but you couldn't add traps. You couldn't deploy traps without buying that token. Now, to me, did that token really make them that much more money? People would have still bought for resources and stuff. But when you take away from the people that can't afford to spend a lot, they're not going to go buy a cheap pack when they can't unlock what you need them to unlock. I said this a while back, and I'll say it again. I think they should have made it so that smaller players could at least still have fun and play. The problem is research over 1,000,000 days. If you can't afford to buy speed ups, obviously it'll never get done. I don't even bother with these because my upkeep right now, let's see. I forget where I find it. My income is 1 million. Now, if I did all my buildings maxed, it's still going to be in the millions. Now, how do I find my upkeep? In here. So for 6 million, the upkeep is 4 trillion. And I've got pretty much that times 9 just for tier 5. So I mean, there is absolutely no point in my opinion for these buildings except for newer players. You know, I really like this game, but I know what's coming next. Commander level 80, buildings to level 30, and I can't do it anymore. I spent a lot of money to build up quick, and it ain't worth it. I spent money that I shouldn't have, which is fine. I don't obviously want it back, but you know what? I got to be at least in the top 100 in power in my other kingdom. Now I'm not, but you know, I have pretty much everything. So then it will become, as they release new stuff, how long I can trap with what I got. But I really wanted the DBC because of the bonuses and boosts you get, but it would be so much better if they gave you better things. And maybe the stuff equals out to what the Game of War DBC is. I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah. Oh, for sure. But I'm not. It's unfortunately I spent more than I should have, and it's a never-ending thing. I'm not rich by any means, not even close. Spent more than I should have already. But to me, I wanted to make videos on it. And nobody's gonna sit here and watch me set 30 days research and not be able to speed it up. I mean, I think this is big enough to have fun for a little while. I'm starting to have less fun because nobody will attack me even without my commander. But here's the thing. I was actually going to kill off a lot of my troops so that I could be a smaller trap, because I have, you know, the high VIP, I have the defense gear. But then I was thinking, that would be absolutely insane, because in a week or two, traps are probably going to be 30 trillion power. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Almighty, he works like a machine. That guy busts his butt and works multiple jobs. And I don't know if he has kids yet, but I've got a few kids, so. Now, if I start making money on this, on YouTube, then that would be different. Which, I guess technically I am making money now, but it's not, you know, this channel's fairly new and the following is still small. I'm not making nothing. So, you know, if I can keep working on this channel and start getting a decent income, then yeah, I'll gladly put some back into it. But as of right now, I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month, and some people are spending thousands of dollars a month. Like I said, I'm not rich enough to do that. But I will give you advice if you want to spend. When something new comes out, and I actually saw somebody say this on another video, which is true. I mean, I say the same thing. Oops. If you want to, okay, so this stuff comes out, and it takes, say, 10 grand to max it. Or 10 packs to max it, sorry, 10 grand. If you wait a couple weeks with the inflation, the packs actually help you get it done for just a couple packs. Like, if you just have patience to wait. If you're a rally leader, you can't really wait. But if you can't afford to spend, like me, which I usually have to wait a couple weeks between buying packs. If you have patience to wait, it just becomes so much cheaper. Because you can notice that every day packs add more items to them. I mean, that is one good thing I'll say that they do with packs. It ain't the same $100 pack for 3 months. I mean, literally almost every day I've seen either more resources in the pack, more this, more that. When I played Game of War, it cost me $1,000 to hit 1 billion power. Of course, this was back before packs got how they were. And to me, that was insane. I spent $25 when I downloaded this game and hit 2 billion power, and I still had a bunch of speed ups and stuff, more than I could use. So, the inflation has helped. The problem is, now instead of research costing millions of resources, they're up into the 100 trillion resources and million days of speed. So, it's kind of a constant struggle to keep up. Yes, exactly. That's more or less what I'm saying. When it first comes out, you're doomed. Although even after a few weeks, it's still going to cost a couple hundred, but that's better than thousands. The people that lead rallies and have to try to keep maxed, they can't really wait a few weeks to do it, or they can't lead. You need somebody that's pretty much maxed, or at least close. I mean, there's a huge difference just between rally leaders and my alliance. We'll take turns rallying somebody, and the difference in troops killed can be astronomical. And we still burn. It's not that one can't do it versus the other. It's just you can tell there's such a huge difference from what you can kill. You know, from tens of, like, say, 60, 70 million troops to hundreds of millions of troops, or 1 billion troops. So, in order to be, a rally leader, you gotta keep spending. And I was hoping to be that, to be honest. I wanted to lead rallies, but I realized very quickly it just weren't gonna happen. I can't afford to do that. I wanted to share with you guys, if you like Xbox games at all, because I was going to do Xbox videos for my YouTube, but the problem is right now, the few that I've uploaded a while back were all done through the game DVR, and it's so much of a pain. It takes like a half hour to an hour to upload from one thing to another, and then a lot of times it was failing. But there is a new app in Xbox you can live stream. So I've been live streaming on Beam. So if you guys like watching that, I've been playing Overwatch. If you guys like that, just go to Beam and look at Jjtheoutlaw. You can watch me live stream that. I haven't figured out how I can upload them videos to YouTube yet, so I'm not sure if you can. But I do notice that my Xbox videos didn't do as good as the Mobile Strike videos. I've still got some that have been there for months and only have a handful of views, whereas I'm starting to pick up views on these videos. So, which is why I chose this. A friend of mine does Game of War videos, and people seem to really enjoy them. Let me think if there was anything else that they added. They did. Oh yeah, I think I talked about this before, but you can upgrade, enhance your gear, whatever you want to call it, to level 20 now. Which was capped at 20. I'm trying to think. They added new mods. And augments. Forget what I have for augments on this. The Azure. You very well may. It's ultra awesome. I like Almighty Pain too. I enjoy watching his videos. I like to check out and see if he's got anything new. But as I said before, that guy is so busy. Ultra just put out probably 6 to 8 videos in the last few days. He took a small break from it. People on here are brutal. They critique everything you say. I could care less, to be honest, if somebody wants to troll. You know, if you've got a legit suggestion or a criticism that's not you just trying to be nasty, you know, I'll take that and try to respond in a way that will, you know, help. But, you know, as far as if I get nasty messages, it's fine with me. Oh, you're absolutely right. This game is not. See, and that's what irritates me. This free-to-play stuff, and it's spreading like wildfire to a lot of other games. Now, here's the thing. Even if this game, you know, stopped at this point, new players still would never catch up. Even if it stopped adding stuff to buy. Because, you know, you can have... power is not really the issue, because it don't matter if you're 100 trillion power, 700 trillion power. You could have 10 trillion power and be maxed research. You can have 2 trillion power and be maxed research. Research is, and buildings are the most important thing. So it's not even the power. But say they stop adding new stuff that, you know, they decided to move on. They keep in the game. They're not going to keep adding new stuff. New players will still never catch up. It's not... I guess if you want to get technical, it's free to play. The problem is it's free to play for a couple days, I guess, because then it gets to a point where you got to sit and wait for timers. And then it gets to the point where it's like 2,000 years if you want to wait for a timer. I think they should have a kingdom for people that are... If you don't want to do it based on... Oh, no, because if you do it just based off power, I mean, people will find a way to make it, you know, they'll keep low power but be maxed. But there's no, you know, there's no reason they can't have a kingdom for people that are level 21 or below, because then they could still have fun going after each other. You know, I know a lot of people would disagree, but I think that's what they should have. I think with the option where if you wanted to jump kingdoms, you still can. But to me, that's why you see so many bases that just never grew. People find out very quickly that they're never going to be able to play. You can't attack anybody. You can't do anything when you're like a level 10 base. It's just impossible. So I wish they would consider at least having kingdoms for... And you know what? I think it would boost revenue for them as well, because you're going to have people starting new accounts to be in that small kingdom, kind of like a twink. They're going to just do the bare minimum, but at least that gives you somewhat of a fair game. If you, once you hit level 22, you port out to a bigger kingdom, or once you hit, like, and even cap the level, the power level, you know, like 5 billion power, you're going to cater at least to more people that can't afford to spend. Because let's face it, $25 you could beat 2 billion. So then you've got all these people that instead of quitting without ever spending a darn, oh, well, I could, you know, I can get $25, and then I can actually have a little fun with the game. You know, and as much as I hate how much of money hungry people they are, it is essentially a business. I don't know if there's too many of us that wouldn't do the same thing if we had a business and we were pulling in money like that. But at least, at the very least, make it so that small ones can have a little fun. You know, I think that would make a world of difference. Not everything should cost money. I mean, even though it's a business, they're not hurting for revenue, because I see people like that one I showed you, jumped 100 trillion power. And that's not, I mean, I'm not even at 100 trillion power. You know, so that costs some money. But it's not like people are going to stop spending. It's just, you're going to at least feel for those that are smaller. That's my opinion. And to be honest, you know, the game probably won't last forever. I mean, people, every time they add something new, you see people get mad and say, I'm done. You know, I think that hurts them overall. And it's too bad. Because a big key to this game is, you know, the social aspect. But now that I'm done rambling about that, I apologize. Probably half of you that watch this are going to end it before that, which is fine. So I've got at least one of every building to 25, except for this one, which just was able to go higher. And these buildings that don't go higher. I'm at 30 trillion power. Now, I was gonna try and get a hero-less hit for this video, but there ain't many people on. Now, if SVS goes well, I'll probably live stream some of that. But again, if you like watching any Xbox One videos, I don't have a schedule right now. I usually just stream on that when I get a few minutes, just trying to pick up some viewers on that. It's hard when you don't have a big name for yourself, which I don't. I'm working on it. Trying to get my personality on here a little better, but it's tough. I'm not used to talking to a phone. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. And I appreciate the interactions, the questions, the views. And we'll see what else comes out new here. I wanted to bet people that there'd be new gear, but I think that mod set bonus is enough. Another million attack. It's crazy. That's over a quarter more. I don't know what max was before that, but yeah, you're right. Last I heard, it was around almost 2 million attack power was max. They've added, I believe, a few things since then, like augments and stuff, and signas. So it's gonna be fun to see if I could still hold down a heroless rally. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Not from someone that's maxed, but that's alright. As long as they don't burn 1 trillion troops in one hit, I'm fine. That would be a video. Holy smokes. That'd have to be a nerf for sure. And there's no tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 nerf, and I've only got 1 billion T1 and 1 trillion of everything else, so I don't have to worry about that. But anyways, guys, take care, and good luck in your mobile strike.